Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Have you guys seen that episode of Atlanta where they made the ancestors of slaves and slaveholders, the ancestors of slaveholders paid reparations to the slaves that they owned? Like to the families of the slaves that they owned. It's like a funny episode. She would have been one of them people.
On what?
On Atlanta. You ain't seen that episode?
No. I seen on Family Guy they did it before.
No, so the episode is funny. The funniest thing about her finding out that her ancestors owned slaves, she's always talking about people need reparations.
So she gonna be paying them.
I got a question, guys. This is something I was thinking about last night. How can people say like we deserve reparations, we should be for reparations and all this stuff when there's people illegally coming into our country getting a free ride on tax dollars? And we're supposed to support that, and we deserve reparations.
They getting reparations.
Literally. We're literally supporting another group illegally coming to our country and benefit from it. And people in our communities or black people with the victim mindset have been saying for years we need freaking reparations, but they want us to celebrate other people getting reparations right in front of us.
People are waking up. The biggest liberal, Stephen A. Smith, even y'all see what he said?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He said, if this is the bill, we all need to vote Republican. We need to do that reaction.
We need to do that right after this.
It's going to be hilarious.
We'll do it right after this.
So let's see what she says when she got on The View.
At first, I was deeply disappointed. The
slave thing is a bummer.
It's a bummer.
And I can't control.
Did she even know that?
I don't know.
So she wants to play this black card, but did she
wants
know
to be an activist.
that your own African people
enslaved
you? So either way it goes.
No, her people from Spain. They was the ones that bought some slaves.
No, but he was saying like if she wants to be like so pro black and all like it's not like black people didn't have other black people as slaves too.
Oh yeah, facts. I feel like that's
so pretty much everybody came from somebody who owned slaves.
I feel like that's a lot of context that people seem to ignore.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit their narrative.
That was probably the number one point that made me just look at shit different.
And I'm not undermining the fact that slavery was...
That's the whole reason I'm wearing this hat right now, goddammit.
It's
because every country had slavery. So I might as well embrace mine. So it's just like, what the f***? Okay, my country tried to do things in place, like, DEI and all these other things, then hey, they're trying at least.
I'm not trying to undermine the fact that slavery was like a crazy point in history, because obviously bad things happen, but I mean, like when you look at the context of how slavery started, like they went to Africa and bought and sold and traded for literal people. Like, why do people always ignore that fact? They act like they just went over there and got captured and then forced into slavery.
What I thought.
Like Kunta.
That's what I thought.
And that's historically inaccurate. So knowing that they were bought and sold, I'm not undermining the fact that it was bad. It was definitely bad.
You just can't blame it on one race.
Yeah,
it was all the people that was doing bad.
Yeah,
all over the world.
Yeah,
we as humans were doing bad.
And then when you acknowledge the fact that it was a universal thing, like it wasn't just exclusive to the U.S. Because when I was growing up, for the longest time, until like really recently, until I started to learn more, I just thought slavery was exclusive to the U.S. So when you think of it like that, I'm sure I can understand your outrage. But when you put a little context behind it and realize it's
hearing this type of
universal.
thing that she says, stuff that she says would make you want to be more racist, because if the roles were reversed, imagine a white person saying, it was disappointing to be related to a black person. Like that would sound absolutely insane.
I didn't even think about that.
Let's let her go on her spiel though.
Damn it, I'm related to a nigga.
Like what? No!
At first, I was deeply disappointed.
The slave thing is a bummer.
It's a bummer. I can't control it. I still believe in reparations, by the way, so y'all can stop texting me and emailing me and saying that I'm a white girl and that I don't deserve reparations. I still believe that.
Someone did that to you?
Yeah.
I don't know who sent her a thing telling her she was a white girl.
Okay, it's too much people.
Clean off.
Girl, and that I don't deserve reparations. I still believe that.
Someone did that to you?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Like imagine how she feels though,
Bro, she's a sellout.
I know, it just
for her own
insane.
people.
I still believe that.
Someone did that to you?
Yeah.
I don't know who sent her a thing telling
Was
her
there
she was
slaves
a
in Puerto
white girl.
Rico?
Okay,
Yes.
it's
all
too
in
much,
the
people.
Caribbean.
Clean off your television screen.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I still believe in reparations. I still believe this country has a lot to do in terms of racial justice. But what I will say, Sarah, to your question is that I feel that I'm enriched by knowing that history.
Yeah.
I'm enriched, and I'm enriched by knowing that my family has come so far from being enslavers to my mother marrying my father in 1968.
Well, yeah.
How the hell you gonna get reparations if the families who are supposed to pay the reparations with the slave owner? This is gonna happen too often. With
Yeah,
these
I just
reparations.
that
That sounds
don't-
like a little dream y'all got that ain't never ever gonna happen.
Oh, that's definitely never gonna happen.
Like, why the hell y'all really think? Do they think that could really happen? Who's gonna pay these reparations? The government or the families of people who? So then it'd be your family, but then your family was also slave. So it would get way too complicated.
Imagine if you didn't have the internet and just listen to this, man. You'd be so messed up.
Yeah.
Do y'all think it's a country out there that didn't have slaves?
Maybe.
Maybe a country that had like
a good
35
question.
people total, and
I just googled
I know
about.
China had some. I know all empires. They had to have a group of poor people to build it up.
I just googled
Majority
slaves in
of-
Puerto Rico. It says they came from Ghana and Nigeria and Dahomey.
Bro, that's why it's black
that makes
people in
sense.
South America, bro.
Because my grandma said we got a lot of cousins in Jamaica.
It says they were branded on the forehead with a hot iron. That way they could legally prevent kidnapping and prove that they were brought to the country legally. Wow. That's crazy. Burn them on the forehead. Imagine having a freaking pee
That
on
was
your
horrible.
forehead because Patrick owns you.
Humans,
I wanna find
man,
that
we were
question out.
tweaking.
What a freaking crazy period of history, honestly.
And people say that, they don't believe also in the Bible and Christianity because they said the Bible talks about slavery. And so they're like, oh, well, the Bible promotes slavery. But at that time, I seen a study and it said people at that time, 70% of the population would have been considered a slave at that time. It was like basically anybody who worked for somebody was a quote unquote slave back then. So it should be like the people who own stuff now versus the people who go to work every day. Like they would be considered like slaves then.
So I'm just trying to figure out like what country could she go to and be proud of. I'm trying to give Sunny a country.
There's no better time to be alive than right now, in my
Actually.
opinion. Like, let's really look at it. You got all this technology.
In America.
we're all
That's what she's
free.
there for.
We live in a freaking capitalistic society. That's what I'm saying. We live in a capitalistic society. Like, you can get rich. Like, I don't know, man. There's so much opportunity, you know? And people always try to focus on negative or create problems. But in my opinion, when you really read history, there's no better time to be alive than right now. Obviously, we're going through some rough patches with the economy and things, but you know what the Bible say? This too shall pass.
You know, some people say we live in the end days right now. So
Hey, man. That's
Oh,
between,
yeah, when people
that's
say
between
that,
me and God.
I think about those times. I think about, well, we had slavery and the Holocaust, but I feel like it's been the worst time.
Y'all know what country had the most slaves? India.
Oh, that makes sense. They got the most people.
They had the most people, yeah. And they got a lot of poor people.
Then China, then North Korea, then Pakistan, then Russia, then Indonesia, then Nigeria.
That doesn't surprise me.
167 countries had slavery. I can't find out who didn't have it. You know, they probably wouldn't know. But
it was a business, bro.
But they had it. If you look in the Bible, they had it. That's the beginning
It
of
was
time.
literally a business decision, you know. And I'm not trying to undermine slavery, guys.
No,
We're just looking
everybody
at the
knows
facts
slavery was
here.
bad. Nobody's
We're putting
trying
this
to argue that.
in a contextual view, adding some context here.
We just saying it wasn't just white people in America doing slavery.
Didn't-
Everybody was
it
doing
wasn't
slavery,
just-
and it was horrible. And it was equally horrible. Not saying like the level, but like slavery period is horrible.
But that's what kills me. If every country almost did slavery, and then you bash white people for slavery, and like that Candace Owens video said that white people abolished slavery. I mean, you know, ended slavery. They did because it said Denmark was the first country, then Britain, then the United States.
You want to know something crazy? I saw Matt Walsh arguing with somebody about slavery on Twitter.
But I'm gonna keep
Pretty
it
good point
100
on
though.
X.
I'm done with this shit.
You know, some people won't look up the facts and look that up.
Yeah,
They'll
no,
just go off of a movie or something.
I saw
That's
somebody,
when the
Matt Walsh was
reality
schooling
TV.
somebody on Twitter about that. Like somebody was like, slavery is white history. How we survived history is black history. And Matt Walsh was like, well, white people were actually the first people to abolish slavery. And Africa was the last country to abolish slavery where it became illegal in 1981.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, this is racist. He said, what's racist
One
about
day
what I just
we're
said?
gonna be able to cook The View and Dr. Umar with his African paganism ass. I said, brother,
He's not even African.
I know, but like it just pisses me off. You talk all this shit about white people.
You know, I definitely have
But
a lot of
then-
questions
Yeah,
for
I don't
Dr.
like how
Umar.
you Bro, you just, hey, treat others how you want to be treated. When you say something about a race of people, think, would I like this if they said this about my race of people? If you wouldn't like that, then don't say that shit. That's the way to end racism.
Here it is. Somebody said slavery is white history. How we survived it is black history. To which Matt Wall said, slavery is world history. White people did not invent it and were not the first to practice it, but were the first to abolish it. The last place in the world to still have legal slavery was Africa. It wasn't fully abolished on the continent legally until 1981. And then somebody replied, the ultimate white savior statement.
I just think if you had money in that time, you
Brother,
were just big baller. You could do what you want.
What are you gonna do to feed little Jimmy? He'll do anything.
I feel like because
That's
they
just
had
what it is.
black,
I just wanna watch it
slave
one more
owners
time
too.
before
When I
we
really
end it.
think about it,
Feel so. I don't know
We
why.
just can't get mad at one race of people when all races did it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Tired of having this, but this discussion. But this is her character. This is why they have her on The View. I just want to watch it one more time before we end this video, guys. One more time. It just feels good.
Wow.
I feel like she's so free.
I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was. My family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I just.
still
I
bad,
think
though.
it's actually
She
pretty
is very
interesting
pretty.
that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know.
Shut up. I've seen enough, brother.
It's good for
On March 22nd, the Spanish National Embassy finally abolished slavery in Puerto Rico in 1873, guys.
When was slavery here? It was 1860
guess
something.
what?
It was 1860, I think.
It's 1860.
I always thought I was Puerto Rican. The United States banned it in 1807. So it took the country that you're trying to prop up 60 years to do it before the country that you're trying to bring down.
No, it was finally done on June 19th, 1865.
What, for United States?
Yes.
It says-
that's when Juneteenth started. That's why
Abolished
we celebrate.
the abolished
Denmark.
slave
You
trade.
said Denmark.
That's the slave
The
trade.
United States followed in 1807.
That's the
that's what it
slave
says.
trade, though.
Well, yeah, that's what
But
I'm
it
talking
was
about.
fully abolished and we were free
Oh,
from
it's
slavery in
slavery.
1865.
But the slave trade.
They said no more trading.
That's what the holiday
And
of
then-
Juneteenth is for.
yeah.
I don't know why people think that's like not a good holiday.
That's
I
definitely
mean,
a great holiday.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a
They
problem.
still
with
abolished the
Juneteenth.
trade before
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Well, even they
I,
just did the
I,
same
I,
shit.
I think
Everybody was
Juneteenth,
doing the same shit.
to acknowledge it
Actually,
is cool,
you're
but
right,
like
though.
to celebrate it and stuff, I guess that's like a choice person to person.
Okay, not the
not
slave
more
trade
important
was
than July
abolished
4th,
in
though.
Puerto Rico.
and when you
my
really
opinion.
critically think about stuff, it really changed your whole outlook of everything in life.
Oh,
man.
for sure.
You
But
gotta
you know-
look at the whole overall
Look
view
at all
of
the
it.
context.
You have
Yeah.
to start. You
Think
have to
for
start
yourself.
contextually viewing a lot of things to really open up the can of worms to understand it. Because I feel like we make broad statements like white people own slaves. That's pretty broad, without really taking a deep dive into it.
You were right though. They abolished slavery in Puerto Rico in 1873, not the trade. But still, the United States, like you said, it was 1865. United States still did it before Puerto Rico.
Well, Puerto Rico isn't that? Well, I don't know when they became a U.S. territory, so let me stop.
But it has different
Yeah.
dates. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. This is just insane, bro. I pray for the day that I go on The View. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. They run in my mind so much. I was thinking in my head the other day how I'm gonna cook them. I had a whole list. I said I was gonna bring the drawing board with the circles and draw it for them. But guys, this was amazing to see her melt down about this.